22 students, down just a little bit from last year. For the online school, we started with 8 and we are now at 5, which is fairly typical. Talking with Indiana Online, that you lose some students that they just find out that it's just not for them. But I think we're all firm believers that we like the synchronous learning. They need to have a schedule and go to that. One of the drawbacks is that the school is on Eastern time. So an 8 o'clock class is a 7 o'clock class our time. But so they're gonna have to just adjust a little bit. Okay. That's all we got.
You went over enrollment.
Yeah.
3,020. Finance, Chris.
A couple of things. We received a certificate from Jasper County certifying that no petition was filed against our proposed project. We'll be meeting with bond counsel and our municipal advisors this week to discuss next steps. At our next board meeting, we anticipate there being resolutions approving a preliminary plan and forming a building corporation. And then October, we anticipate a hearing on a lease rental and a series of other resolutions that will go along with that. This is the project we talked about at length when we had the hearings. That is for the repairs and upkeeps of our buildings. A couple of things from Form 9 want to share. Our education fund had essentially no loss or gain. It actually had a gain of $12,000 for the 6-month period, which is essentially flat line. Our operation fund showed an increase of $1,285,000. That's due to receiving our spring tax draw right in June, right before our July deadline performance. Rainy day had no activity. The balance remains at $4,261,661.97. There's been no additions to the rainy day fund since 2021 and no expenditures also. State support was projected by Indiana Department of Education using a higher number than what we currently have enrolled in the buildings. When we adjust that, we also make an adjustment for what we anticipate our spring enrollment being. We anticipate state support being reduced by $264,000 for 25-26 from what we were told. We also received an updated estimate today from IDOE regarding our special education students, and they're estimating that we'll have $100,000 less than they had estimated earlier for us in 25-26. CTE numbers are still being adjusted, so we don't have an update on that. In addition to these changes, remember that we will not be receiving any money for curricular materials reimbursement in December this year, like we did in years past. In 24, that was $480,945. So taking all those things into account, our state support for this year, we believe will be about $135,000 more than it was last year. Wanted to share that with the board. That's all I have for tonight.
Any questions for Chris, finances?
I know you've given it to us and we have it, but what's like our total budget just for everything? Do you know? I mean, I try not to try to put you on
The
spot.
budget you approved tonight was 59 million
Okay.
total between all of them.
Okay.
Next item that we have was student enrollment. Mike covered that. And next, I had sent some information to you, Wheatfield Elementary Schools, asking thoughts on a comfort dog. An individual, properly licensed, insured, brings a comfort dog in for our students to pet, and a lot of schools are getting comfort dogs. Some schools purchase comfort dogs. This individual will come in and bring the comfort dog. So it's only by approval and from the principal to do that. Thoughts, comments?
Is this a program that we would be only doing at Wheatfield? Is this individual willing to work with our other schools as well?
We've not had that conversation. That's a good question. That's something that we could definitely ask. If they would be willing to go to other schools. There are other people that have comfort dogs that go in for different situations that might be willing to do other schools as well.
Yeah, I know, Hobart has a comfort dog, Hobart High School. Several times when we've been at sporting events, ticket taker is a school employee and he is also considered a school employee, the dog, so she'll have him there taking tickets with her.
Now, was that purchased through the school or?
I don't know, I've just met the dog
Mhm.
during sporting events, so.
Mhm.
I think I'm unique for kids.
Mhm. I know a few years back, there was someone that wanted to bring a dog in, but it wasn't properly trained. They didn't have the proper paperwork or the insurance for this. It is different than someone having a comfort dog, like not someone that's approved and they think they want to bring a comfort dog in. So, like you see traveling on an airplane or just out in public. We have board policy, approved board policy, that doesn't pertain to that. Obviously, we follow ADA standards and for seeing eye dogs and other animals or dogs that relate to that. So this doesn't open up, a situation where people just bring in their animal for comfort.
What's the plan? I mean, I see at least when it's new, it's a distraction in a classroom. Is it the plan to be with the social worker more for those type of situations? How often?
I think David still wants to work out some of those details.
Okay,
The dog would be with its handler,
right,
right? So might just walk through the classrooms, the hallway, like in the morning, and they're going to breakfast. Recess possibly.
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point. I mean, if it's truly a comfort dog, you would think it would be for situations, not just entertainment.
Which a lot of schools have brought, like a dog in all day. So when the kids see it all day.
How the one is at.
it's not, it becomes not a novelty. It's-
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
whatever.
constant.
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily opposed to this, I think as long as it's a novelty and it's only there a little bit here and there, it becomes more of a distraction instead of a help. Unless we're using it for situations, like it's more with maybe the social worker or.
Right.
I think that's a
And-
prime opportunity for where it should be, probably.
And if we actually,
Life skills rooms or. Yeah,
if we actually think it's important, then I think then we're opening up that we need to do this at not just Wheatfield. I mean, we have 2 elementary schools. If we agree that it's needed, then.
But I think we started with a social worker at one school to feel it out, to see how it worked. I'm okay with that aspect, I think, to start, to feel it out and see.
yeah, I think maybe it would be nice to see some more defined expectations and ideas of how it's going to work and that kind of thing before.
Is there a cost involved that David was willing to pay?
He didn't talk about any cost or anything to the school corporation to do that. Okay. We'll ask some of those questions of David. Those are all good questions. We'll get some additional.
Have we
feedback.
asked the attorney or insurance what we have to do for that?
We just have to have the proper insurance credentials from the individual.
Okay.
So they have insurance for the dog. So that's all.
So if for some reason someone gets bit, then it's on them.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
not us.
right, okay.
But we're still gonna get sued.
Right.
We're still gonna get sued.
We had two
There's a
dogs
layer
before,
there.
you know, with our social worker. He had one that aged out, and they had another one that he brought in. Occasionally they were there together. It's good, but they need to be properly trained and, like Jill said, they were there to help kids and, during tough times, just kind of soothing as he's
Mhm.
talking with them. Carrie Delaney also, the social worker at Demont, she used to have a dog that she needs to bring into schools before she came here. She could be a resource.
Very good. We'll get with David on some of those questions. Under a few other items, State Road 10, we all know that they're gonna start chip and seal tomorrow. So perfect timing, not, right? So they'll be doing that. They've been in very good conversations, great communication with Rhonda dealing with transportation. So we appreciate the Department or Indiana Department of Transportation communicating with Rhonda on that. So we've sent now 2 messages out to our families to talk about that and come up with alternative routes. We're hoping that our families at our schools will make the proper adjustments, and hopefully the bus traffic and the family pickup traffic will co-mingle in a proper way anyway with things. Then along those lines with our bus times, with the middle school and high school dismissing 10 minutes later. They are, when that decision was made, we were looking at the routes that we have. We had approximately 7 people retire. We replaced 3. And they would make it all back in a comfortable time. We are dropping kids off very similar to what we did last year at this time. But we also at Wheatfield had a bridge out as well. So Rhonda, through her software, were able to look at times for this year and last year. So there, if we had another route or two, if we had drivers and had another route or two, we think the times would be okay. But what we're looking at is at Demont Elementary School, the buses depart at 3:41, and they're dropping the last student off at approximately 4:45. Last year at this time, it was approximately 4:41. Then in November, they were dropping off about 4:34, which is about 10 minutes, if you will, right? And then at Wheatfield, approximate time is 3:40, 3:39. I'm getting technical with that. The buses are departing the buildings. They're dropping the last student off approximately 4:30. And last year, it was about that same time they were dropping off. And then in November, after the bridge was back, it was approximately 4:27. So we're within about 3 or 4 minutes at Wheatfield, but they don't have the volume of kids. So that makes a big difference. We have talked about right now, it seems to be working. We've also had some students that have moved in, families have moved in, and they're kind of at locations where we've never had pickups before. So our drivers are kind of driving a different route with that. The concern is when January gets here and maybe a little bit in December, that we might have some issues with late buses getting to our elementary schools. Sometimes around week 3 or 4, of course, we'll have county or State Road 10 to deal with this week. Sometimes things iron out a little bit more. But I do believe that it's an adjustment that we need to look at making for the middle school and high school only at a dismissal time. We might have to go to last year's dismissal time. But I think we need to give it a little bit more time and maybe make that adjustment. If needed, possibly at Christmas break before the bad weather gets here. So the principals are prepared for that. Any thoughts or comments?
We're still looking at hiring, we still are hiring bus driver positions or,
Rhonda and I had talked, if we get a couple of sub drivers, we might, she's gonna look at our numbers and our routes and possibly add a route to help shorten some of the time. So if we do that, that might have a huge impact on this with some of the students that we have further out. We have some buses that are, pulling out at 3:41, 3:42, and they're done at 20 after or quarter after, because they have a large volume of kids in just one or two locations. Then you get some of those buses that you drop off here and you're driving 2 miles, dropping a kid off, driving another 3 miles, dropping a family off, and then they have to backtrack. One drop off is on the highway, and obviously we only drop off on door side, so they have to go out, make a square, and come back. The student probably lives closer to the school, but they have to go because of the state law and obviously safety reasons for that child. So,
Is there any interviewers or potentials for new bus drivers?
yes, there's a couple that are in training.
Okay,
And then we have one driver that is off, that is supposed to be released to come back to work.
okay.
She had personal, the individual had personal medical reasons for that. Those are all the items that we had for our work session. So we could move into the executive session that we've called for dealing with school safety. If you're good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.